I think in this day and age, people are a lot more aware of like prosthetics and makeup, and like it's on TV and people see more behind the scenes. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between then and now with what they use for prosthetics? I mean, is it a lot of the same stuff, just advanced, or were there different techniques?
Miss Harrison's husband at the time contracted the Academy Award winner, John Chambers, who created the first Apes masks. Fortunately, Linda never had to wear any of that stuff. Of course, I guess a leather bikini kind of has its own class, but John supervised our makeup in Beneath the Planet, which was the second one, and it seemed to go very well. It took about a month of pre-prep to put it together. First, we had to do a setting, and they said, now we have to put on this warm goop all over your face, and it might be a little hard to breathe, so we'll stick 2 straws in your nose and put you in this stuff. And if you get panicked, give us a wave and we'll get you out of it. But it needs to dry for about 45 minutes, as I remember. So there's 2 ways to go: either create a problem or go with the flow. And I went to sleep in my mask, and when it got hard, then they peel that off and they make it like a mold, the mold, and then it's held together with rubber bands. Then they pour a rubber substance in it, let that partially dry, pour that out, take the mask out. It looks like a mask you buy at the Halloween store, and then they take it back to their art department and they paint it up so it looks like the epidermal skin under your, outer layer of skin, and glue it on all points: your forehead, your cheek, your chest, your back, everywhere. So you're glued in this thing they use a different substance now for glue, but then it was like, not Elmer's, but the clear stuff that had the high alcoholic content.
Spirit gum?
Spirit gum, yes, there you go. Thank you. So after 5 hours of sitting in that stuff and your skin absorbing all the alcohol and the base content of it, I've never had a worse sunburn in all my life, I swear to God. And then you figure, well, how do you get that stuff out of you? Do they just rip it off? No, fortunately, they peel corners back and then they rub you down with baby oil. So, and it took about 40 minutes to get the whole thing off of you and get you clean, but it was pretty brutal. We only, in the 2 months, the 1 month of actual filming, we only had to wear the masks 5 times, thank goodness. Because it took like 8 or 10 hours to get them on, and then we'd be out there on the set and shoot an hour, and then you're all over with you, go take it off. And Linda never showed up. We never saw her. She always stayed hidden somewhere.
No, I was there when you said those words. What was it?
Oh, that's right. You and Jim.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
What were the words?
I reveal my innermost self.
Right.
I reveal my inmost self unto my God. And I take my face off.
That's because you were hurting, right? Because you did that knowing that you're going to die. Yeah. But I mean, the audience didn't know that. No, that was the surprise, the shock.
That was the shock, the audience. You could see audiences when we took our thing up. But
I remember.
The point of the film itself is the direction we were going. We were in nuclear problems then in the world. And that was the contention of a lot of smart people, that if we don't stop, this is what's going to happen. We'll end up destroying the world. As it was, Charlton Heston did destroy the world at the end of the movie.
He thought that would be the end of Planet of the Apes. He didn't believe in the sequels until very late.
Yeah. And in actuality, our movie, Beneath, which was the second one, had a different ending, as Ted Post told me, but the studio got into a political whatchamacallit, and there were a lot of sequel movies being made around town, and about 98% of them always flopped. So this one, when it was planned and produced, they figured it would be a flop, and so they took $2 million out of the budget, which caused Ted to change the ending of the movie. That's why it stopped so abruptly after Charlton Heston pushes the red plunger and the world burns. That's the alternate ending from the original one. Do you guys know who the original author of the story of Planet of the Apes was?
Oh, you probably know, John.
What else did he write that was very famous? Bridge.
Over. Tropic waters, look at some of it. Yeah.
Next.
Were there any practical jokers on the set?
You remember Victor Buono, the big heavyset guy? Victor was an inveterate game player. He had all these little games he used to love to play. He says, "Hey Don, I got a new game. Come on out to my dressing room and I'll show you what it's all about." Well, we had little dressing rooms outside of Soundstage 25, I believe that's where we were, and it was the two-wheel trailers. See? So Victor is my size, and heavier maybe at that point. And so we go out, and we get in the trailer, and we go in the back of the trailer to sit down to play these games, and suddenly the trailer goes, and we're both in the place dying laughing. And the key phrase of the time was, "I've fallen and I can't get up."
Right.
And so we're screaming, "Help us."
So the whole trailer.
The trailer rocked up on two wheels and was sitting on his ass. And so the doorway out was way up there.
So who finally got
I said,
him?
"Victor, listen, here's the way we're going to do, because nobody's coming to our help. You sit here and I'll climb up along the side of the trailer and maybe we can get it balanced again." So I get up there, and all of a sudden, boom, and all the mirrors came off the wall, the lights exploded, and Victor and I are just howling. It's so damn funny. And then when they found us, the crew members had to come out, and they built a foundation around this trailer so this wouldn't happen. Other than that, anybody play any jokes on you or anything? Well, she was.
If they did, I was so naive, I wouldn't see it as a.
She was the producer's wife, so you leave her alone.
Yeah.
Were you ever tempted to do your reveal anywhere public other than on the set?
What?
The work
Reveal my influence.
It's a good idea, though.
I would have been dying to do that.
Seems to me like the most intriguing part is when we had to go to Soundstage and loop in. You know, and I really hadn't done it before, because this was my first feature film out. And I walked into this theater with one of those huge 70mm screens. And you're standing there with a podium and a music stand. And this huge open theater. I mean, it could have housed 2,000, 3,000 people, but it's just you. And behind you is the control booth. Then on the screen, they run the scene that they want you to loop in the dialogue over. And you got your earphones on, and the process of looping is, as they're running the scene and your line comes up, you hear beep, 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 and then you start your dialogue. Well, you view it once so you can see what you said, how you said it, get the rhythm, and then each time out you do it till it's a print, cut print.
There goes our manager.
Oh, Jim Duncan.
No, Decker.
Decker, Duncan.